It's around 3 a.m. and I just found around 100 liters of diesel fuel in the bilge. I was doing something earlier today, playing with the fuel system, trying to figure out what all of the valves and filters do. Well, I kind of accidentally opened one valve that belonged to the old fuel system, so it's not in use anymore, and the other end of the hose is just here, like it's open. It's not connected to anything, and there was just fuel coming out of it, and I didn't even notice it because I was at the other part of the boat, and then I came in here and there's lots of fuel here. So I have a lot of cleaning to do. Luckily enough, there is an oil change pump that I can use. My friends are joining me today, and tomorrow we are gonna go out of the water, and I'm a little bit scared because I've never controlled anything like this before. It's got twin engines but quite small rudders, no keel, and getting out of here is tricky. I'll show you. So the crane is going to put us down here, and then we need to go back out and do a 180-degree turn, and then go that direction, and then do a 90-degree turn first to port and then a 90-degree to starboard. And that's going to be tricky. There is not much space in here. It's like 2 boat lengths or something. Okay, 3 or 4 boat lengths, but that's not a lot. And I heard that this boat is not easy to control in tight spaces. I'm not worried about our boat because obviously it's like thick aluminium, so it's going to be like crushing everything that gets into its way. I'm just worried about like the other boats here. Ootteko valmiina toimintaan?
Milloin masteri rupeaa hommiin?
Meidät laitetaan niinku tohon. Sitten tossa pitää tehdä niin 180, kun tosta peruutetaan ulos. Peruuttamalla ajetaan ulos tosta lukilta.
Nyt oli ihan liikaa tilaa enää, että se on tuolla noin.
Tossa niinku tähän 180 sit ajetaan ulos tosta.
Mut saaks tosta tehtyä 180?
En mä tiedä. Launching your boat is always exciting. And this time it was twice as exciting as usually, as I didn't really know what to expect, even though I was already committed. I had already moved in, and just a few hours earlier I had sold my car for the princely sum of 400 euros. Most of the boat launches go well, but sometimes you run into problems. This was one of those problematic times, and instead of motoring out of the harbor, we soon found ourselves moored to the dock next to the crane. The engine stopped running at while we were still at the crane, and now we are trying to figure out the fuel system, because it's obvious that the engines are not getting fuel. There is vacuum at the filters that are close to the engine, so you know, somewhere there is a valve is closed, or a blockage, or maybe the air vent line is blocked, you know, the air vent line for the day tank. I don't know. We are troubleshooting, but at the same time we are also opening the inspection hatch for the day tank, just to make sure that the diesel there is fine. We know that the diesel here in the boat is actually, I think it's almost 10 years old. There is a long story behind that, but I think the diesel, it's very old, so soon we will see whether it's still in good condition or not. I think the diesel might be good. I don't think our problem is a blocked filter, but we are still going to check the day tank as well. Looks really clean, so the diesel quality cannot really be the problem. And now we tried to start the engine as well, but it doesn't start. So it can't be the vent line either, because obviously now the day tank is getting air. So now it must be somewhere between the day tank and the engines. There is a blockage. Either a valve is closed or something. Next we are going to dive deeper into these. There's some valves here and a French explanation of how things are supposed to work. Some valves, more valves and filters here. A couple of electric pumps, transfer pumps and hand transfer pump, and 3 more filters at the engine room. Yeah. Now 9 hours later, I think we might have done it. Fixed some seawater leaks, found the right valve to open, also checked the day tank and the fuel seems fine. And now we're gonna do the 180-degree turn here. I don't know, how is it going to go?
I trust you, Captain.
Nice. I don't know, I just put one throttle forward and the other one back and then see what happens, I guess. We're gonna do double rope from the stern corner so that if we screw something up, the wind is going to push us here towards this dock again. And the water looks still here, but there is some wind, maybe 4 or 5 meters per second straight from the side, of course. So let's see, let's give it a try. We tried several different ways of turning Arctica around. After a bit of trial and error, we finally managed to do it. Now, as I'm editing this video some days later, I've learned that with a bit of practice, she actually turns quite easily. Getting out of the harbor and turning Arctica's bow to point southwards meant that our big plan was now finally also progressing. I really wanted to make it to Iceland to spend the winter sailing and skiing there, and now we were finally making some progress towards that. We'd first sail along the Norwegian coast, then hop on over to Faroe Islands, and then hopefully onto Iceland. And next year we'd ultimately like to make it to Greenland, but let's talk about that a bit more in the future videos. Norwegian King's ship Norge is going to pass us shortly. I can see it on the AIS and we can see it behind us as well. And let's try and see what happens when we try to greet them with the flag, do the traditional flag greeting, because they should respond, because I think it's Navy manning the ship, so as long as they see us, they should respond. Flag dipping is an old simple tradition that you can do to greet another vessel out of respect. You just lower your flag and then hoist it back up again. Or at least something similar to that. I think the specifics vary by country. But in any case, the other vessel should respond by dipping their flag as well. It took a couple of tries before the crew on the King's ship noticed us, but then we saw someone running to the aft deck and we got our response. Hello, King Harald. hello from Arctica's editing corner, and thank you so much for watching. I got a lot of comments on the previous video. I'm sorry I haven't been able to respond to all of them. We've just been so extremely busy between like maintaining and fixing the boat and trying to get to Iceland before the winter and all of that, and both of us have our full-time jobs as well. You know, we both work on our laptops. Sophie is a researcher and I'm a translator, so you know we still work full-time, so there's a lot to do, and that's why we haven't really been able to keep up with everything lately. But we are super excited to start on this journey towards Iceland and Greenland, and also excited to share it with you. Now we'll be going like as close to real time as possible with the videos as well. And lately I got a couple more patrons on Patreon, the crowdfunding site, and that really helps to, you know, allocate, or it really helps me to be able to allocate more time into the making of these videos. I just spend so much time shooting and editing these videos that it just naturally takes away from the time that I would normally work and actually earn money. And you know, we need money to feed ourselves and do the boat maintenance and so on. That's just the reality of it. But you know, if you want to help us out, you can check out the Patreon page. I'll link it in the description and somewhere over here as well. As a Patreon, you get access to our internal WhatsApp group, where I try to be active as well, and Sophie also. I mean, I know most of you like Sophie more than me anyway. And then we also have a real-time tracking map where we have like all of our anchorages and all of the spots where we stop, and short descriptions of most of them. And I actually really like the map myself, because that's also something that I look at myself as well, just to, you know, look at all of the places that we've been to, and you can use the satellite view to check out the places as well. So I think that's actually really cool. If you want to help out in some other way, if you don't want to spend the funds, but if you want to help out in some other way, then just, you know, liking and commenting on these videos on YouTube is more than enough. That makes the YouTube algorithm like us a little bit more, and that helps out in the long term as well. Anyway, that was the Patreon marketing speech this time. I hope to see all of you next time. Bye bye.